Truck drivers avoid sleeping at truck stops whenever they can. Not because they don't need rest, not because something better exists, but because a truck stop, despite everything it offers, is one of the hardest places on Earth to actually sleep. This is why. Here's something most people never think about. A truck driver's day doesn't end when he gets tired. It ends when the law says it ends. Federal hours of service rules cap how long a driver can operate each day. Once those hours run out, the truck stops. No exceptions, no extensions. And here's the problem. Every truck on that highway is running on the same clock. Hundreds of drivers hitting their legal limit at roughly the same time, all heading for the same handful of parking lots. Studies on America's truck parking shortage found that during peak hours, as many as 5 trucks compete for a single open spot. 5 trucks, 1 space, which is exactly why experienced drivers don't wait until they're tired to stop. They stop at 2 in the afternoon, sometimes earlier. Not out of laziness, out of strategy. Because by 4 in the afternoon, the lots are already full. Pull in at 5, and you might spend the next 2 hours circling, waiting, driving to the next stop, finding that one full too. A rookie learns this the hard way once. A veteran builds his entire route around it. But finding a space is only the first problem. Because the moment the engine shuts off, a completely different one begins. He found a spot. Finally. He climbs into the bunk, pulls the curtain shut, closes his eyes, and then he hears it. Refrigerated trailers running all night to keep cargo from spoiling. Dozens of diesel engines idling in unison just outside the window. Air brakes hissing as new trucks arrive at midnight, at 2 in the morning, at 4 in the morning. Headlights sweeping across the cab as a 53-foot trailer backs into the spot next to him. A door slamming somewhere in the dark. A truck stop never goes quiet. Not at any hour. There's no wall thick enough to block it out. No door that seals it away. Just thin sheet metal and a parking lot that runs like a 24-hour highway interchange. Most drivers don't get real sleep here. They get something closer to rest in pieces. Drifting off, startled awake, drifting off again. Night after night, year after year. But noise isn't the only thing keeping them up. Sometimes it's a sound that has nothing to do with engines. A knock on the cab door. Late at night, in a parking lot full of strangers. Most drivers will tell you it happens more often than people expect. Sometimes it's harmless. Someone disoriented, asking for directions. Sometimes it isn't. Truck stops are open to anyone. No gate, no ID check, no way to know who's walking between the trucks at 3 in the morning. And that openness has a cost that the industry measures in billions. Cargo theft costs American trucking an estimated $223 million every year in reported losses alone. And most theft goes unreported. Unsecured parking lots, exactly the ones drivers sleep in every night, are where most of it happens. A thief doesn't need to break in. A sharp blade, a few seconds, and a slit through the side of a trailer is enough. Fuel gets siphoned straight from the tank, while the driver sleeps 2 meters away. Drivers adapt. Some keep a dog in the cab, not for company, but for the bark. Some run cameras pointed at the trailer doors all night. Extra locks, motion sensors, anything that buys a few extra seconds of warning. Because in a lot with no fence and no security, a few seconds is sometimes all there is. And yet, for all of this, the real problem isn't the noise or the theft or even the danger. The real problem is that there often isn't anywhere else to go. For over 2 decades, U.S. transportation officials have studied America's truck parking shortage and reached the same conclusion every time. There are simply more trucks on the road than there are legal places to park them. Not in one state. Not on one stretch of highway. Everywhere. Rest areas seem like the obvious alternative. Free, built into the highway, no reservation required. But most are full by early evening. Some states limit how long a truck can stay, forcing a half-asleep driver back onto the road in the middle of the night just to avoid a fine. For years, Walmart parking lots were the backup. Massive, free, and usually welcoming. That's changed. The number of locations still allowing overnight truck parking has dropped sharply and keeps falling. Noise complaints, trash, local ordinances. One bad incident, and a lot that welcomed drivers for a decade puts up a sign, and that's the end of it. So what's left? Sometimes nothing legal. Drivers end up on highway shoulders, exit ramps, the edges of industrial roads. It isn't safe. It isn't comfortable. It isn't legal in most places. But ask any driver and the answer is the same. A fine is still better than driving past your legal hours, exhausted, searching for a space that might not exist. Which makes the question obvious. If truck stops are this difficult, the noise, the danger, the competition for space, why do drivers keep going back? Because despite everything, truck stops still offer something no alternative can match. A hot shower after 12 hours behind the wheel. A real meal eaten sitting down. Diesel pumps that don't run dry. Mechanics on site when something starts making a sound it shouldn't. Wi-Fi strong enough to call home. And something less obvious, but just as important. Other drivers. People running the same schedule, living the same routine, who understand without explanation what the job actually costs. The missed weekends, the strange hours, the particular exhaustion of spending weeks alone in a cab. For some drivers, a truck stop is the only place all day where they talk to another person face to face. A highway shoulder offers none of that. No light, no people, no backup if something goes wrong. Compared to a dark exit ramp at 2 in the morning, a loud, crowded truck stop lot suddenly looks like the better option. Not a good option. The better one. Which is why experienced drivers don't stop fighting the system. They just stop fighting it the hard way. Veterans don't wait for a parking problem to solve itself. They eliminate it before it starts. The first thing they change is the sequence. Instead of planning a route and then figuring out where to sleep, they pick where they want to sleep first and build the route around that. The 2 in the afternoon stop isn't laziness. It's the whole plan. Some skip truck stops entirely when they can. If tomorrow's delivery is at a warehouse or distribution center, why not park right there the night before? No competition, no noise from hundreds of other trucks, no race against the clock. Just a quiet lot and a short walk to the dock in the morning. Others build relationships with specific spots, a rest area they trust, a lot owner who doesn't mind, a location nobody else seems to know about. That knowledge isn't written in any manual. It's built one bad night at a time over years on the road. And then there are team drivers. 2 people, 1 truck. While one sleeps, the other drives. The truck never stops, so there's no parking race, no countdown to 3 in the afternoon, no frantic search before dark. It comes with its own costs. Sharing a truck with another person around the clock is its own challenge. But when it comes to parking, team drivers have already solved a problem that every solo driver faces every single day. For everyone else, the search doesn't end. It just gets more efficient with time. Tonight, while most people fall asleep in quiet bedrooms, thousands of truck drivers will spend hours searching for a single legal parking space. And when they finally find one, sleep is still not guaranteed. No fence, no silence, no real security. Just a thin metal door, a parking lot that never stops moving, and an alarm set for before sunrise. Most people never think about this part of the job. They see a truck on the highway and think about where it's going. They don't think about where it has to stop, or what it takes to find that place every single night. Now you do.